How have I been able to manage this big tummy with being a mom, being a wife, being a PhD candidate, and also doing content creating? That's having my YouTube channel, Instagram, TikTok, and all of that. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, welcome. And if you're a returning subscriber, thank you so much for coming back. Okay, thank you guys for all your love and support. Listen, it means so much to me. Okay, so in today's video, I'll be sharing with you guys why I decided to start my family during my PhD in the Netherlands. If you know how PhD system works, you would know that combining PhD with having babies is not just a good mix, okay? And a lot of people would advise you against that. However, I, Josephine, decided to do the contrary. I decided to have my kids while I'm doing my PhD. And in this video, I'll be sharing with you guys why I made this decision. And in addition to that, I'll be sharing with you guys how I've been able to combine being pregnant, being a mom, a wife, a PhD candidate, and a content creator. So without further ado, let's get into this video. Okay guys, so the first thing I want to address is why I decided to start my family in the Netherlands during my PhD. Okay, so the answer to that is this. I always knew that I wanted kids before I turned 30, okay? My mom had me when she was much younger, and I really love the relationship that I have with my mom, and I love how good she looks. I'm going to put a picture of her. So when I was about 25, going to 26, that was when I started actively looking for a PhD position. In the Netherlands, PhDs are considered employees of the university. So because of that, you're entitled to some employee benefit, which includes paid maternity leave and parental leave. Okay, so I think maternity leave is about 16 weeks paid, and then parental leave is about 26 weeks before the child turns 8. And I don't think it's completely paid. I think the first 9 weeks you get like partial pay, and the remaining weeks you don't get any pay. So yeah, I just wanted a country that made provision for this, especially for PhD students. And that was one of the major reasons why I chose the Netherlands and why I decided to start my family in the Netherlands. Okay, there are a few things I want to put out there. So just in case you're an expert and you're wondering, if you have your child in the Netherlands, does your child automatically become a Dutch citizen? Now listen, the answer to that question is no, if none of the parents are Dutch. So the child automatically becomes a Dutch citizen only if one of the parents is Dutch. Okay, so for me, I and my husband, we are not Dutch, or we are not Dutch yet. Okay, so I already knew that my child will not have an automatic Dutch citizenship, so that was not the motivation at all. Okay guys, so the next thing I wanted to address is why I chose to have a family during my PhD. I think I've addressed that actually. I wanted to have my kids before I turned 30. Okay, and I also wanted a PhD before I turned 30, or at least by the time I'm 30. So these two things had to be happening concurrently in my life. Hope that's clear. Okay. The next thing I would like to address is how do I do this? Like, how do I manage to combine being pregnant at the moment? Okay. This is my tummy. I don't know if you guys can see it. So how have I been able to manage this big tummy with being a mom, being a wife, being a PhD candidate, and also doing content creating? That's having my YouTube channel, Instagram, TikTok, and all of that. Now, the first thing that I feel has really helped me to be able to put all these things together is that from the onset, I knew that this was what I wanted to do. So I set my mind to it. And to be honest, nothing ever prepares you to be a mom. I think you can get all the information, yeah, online, but every motherhood journey is very different. And also, like, it really depends on your health, the health of your child, and so many things. And I'll say I've been very fortunate, and I'm so grateful to God to have had like a really smooth like pregnancy, really smooth motherhood, really healthy children, and I'm so grateful for that. However, I already had in mind that it was going to be a big task to have kids and also do my PhD. I would have to deal with distractions during my PhD. I would have to deal with times when I am not available for my child because I have to be in one conference or the other. Like, I already prepared my mind that these things would happen. Now, the second thing that I feel has really helped me, and I just feel like this one is so important, or rather one of the most important ones, is that I have a very, very supportive husband and life partner. Guys, listen, I don't want to make this video about praising my husband, but my husband is one of the most supportive human beings I know when it comes to my life, my choices, my career, my motherhood, everything. I just feel like if I did not have that support, there is no way I would have been able to do all the things that I do effectively. No way. I don't know how. I can't even imagine how I'll be able to do that. So my husband is very supportive. He's very hands-on. He's also very involved in our home, okay? We don't have all this gender role nonsense. Don't get me wrong. Like, we do have like some roles that is kind of assigned to everyone in the house, but it doesn't mean that when the other one is needing help, the other partner cannot step up and, you know, and stand in for that person that needs help. I'm very, very grateful for that, because I recognize that if I didn't have this, it would have impacted so much. Honestly, it would have changed the narrative. So I'm very grateful for my partner, for having a supportive partner. Another tip that I think I did this from the onset, and I feel like it has really, really helped, especially combining motherhood at work, okay? This tip is that I was very open with my employer about my desire to have kids during my PhD. The reason why I did this was because, for those of you that do not know, PhD is like a temporary contract. It's like a fixed term contract in a way, because there is a certain amount of time you're given to do a research. So I wanted my employer to be aware that I wanted to have kids during this fixed term, and because that would lead to extension of my contract and may delay things in the project. So I wanted to make sure that my employer, my supervisors were aware that I will have kids during my PhD, and that whatever plans they have, that it was flexible enough to accommodate me, okay, to accommodate my demands or the time that I would need to be off to have my child. Okay, I feel this is important, especially if you plan to have your child during the PhD. I think it's fair to at least let the supervisor or the employer know that even though this is a fixed term contract, you may need some flexibility. Okay, now having said that, another tip that I feel has helped me to balance my life a bit more is that taking my yearly leave very, very strategically. Okay, as a PhD here in the Netherlands, I'm entitled to an annual leave of, I think, 28 working days per year. Okay, I never take the leave as a lump, so I never take maybe 4 weeks off entirely to travel out or anything. No, I normally would take maybe a week off at a time. This gives me room, or this gives me extra time, at least throughout the year, to be able to take a day, 2 days off work if I really need to. So yeah, this is something I've done. I've been able to take my time off work strategically. So the next thing that I've done that I feel like has really helped me is to set boundaries between work and home. Okay, listen, as a PhD, there can always be this thin line between, you know, having leftover work and just carrying it over to the house. And I've been guilty of this several times. What I've tried to do is to really try to put boundary between when the hours that I invest in my work and the hours that I invest at home. I try not to work during weekends. I try not to work in the night. I only do that if I really, really have to. So yeah, I just try to create a boundary and a balance between these two aspects of my life that have to keep going. So another aspect that I want to address is how I've been able to manage the content creating side. Okay, I really enjoy content creating, and I've been on the internet, like I've been creating content on the internet for years, over 6 years right now. I started out with Instagram. I was on Instagram for years before I even opened my YouTube channel. Before I had my child, I was very, very active in multiple social media platforms. So I was active on Instagram, on TikTok, and also I was also thinking about starting my YouTube channel. However, once I had my child, I realized that I could not do it all. And I could not be consistent in all these platforms at the same time. So what did I do? I decided, okay, the platform that I would invest most into, and then others I can be posting, but I will not be as active. Now my YouTube channel is my most content creating outlet. So this is where I upload the most videos, and this is where I'm most active. However, on my Instagram accounts, on my TikTok, I'm not very active, but I try to post once in a while. Of course, this has disadvantages, which is that I am not growing as much as I would on these other social media platforms. But listen, I've counted my blessing, I've counted my losses. I cannot do everything at a time, at least not for now. Now, another thing that I feel I do that has really helped me to juggle these different aspects of my life is that I motivate myself. Like, guys, you don't understand. I try to motivate and encourage myself. I talk to myself, I remind myself that, see, I can do this. I was born to do this. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. I am a Christian, guys. I've said it multiple times in this channel. And this is where my faith plays a very, very big role, okay? I just go back to God for strength. I go back to God for motivation. I go back to God to be refueled. I go back to God for wisdom, knowledge. Help me. A lot of times I'm like, God, please help me to plan my life. Help me to give me direction, a sense of purpose. Bless my hard work, all those things. Keep my family safe. I pray over my family, over my friends, over my children. May they be in sound health and sound mind. All these help me to get myself to be in the right frame of mind, because I feel like mental health is also very important, especially when you're juggling a lot of things at a time. For some people who you feel like you don't know how to motivate yourself, I would highly recommend you get help. Maybe get a psychologist, whatever it is, to get yourself in a very good mental space while juggling all these things. I would highly recommend that as well. Okay, the next thing that I would say has really helped me in juggling my life as a mom, as a PhD candidate, a wife, is that I give myself grace. Okay, now listen, I don't get it right all the time. Sometimes I'm so preoccupied with my home, cooking, getting my child ready, doing all those other things, that I don't put in so much work in my PhD. And sometimes I feel guilty about that. And then the next time I'm working so hard for my PhD, I'm not giving my family enough time and attention. And I feel guilty about that as well. So what I've tried to do is to give myself as much grace as possible. If I falter, no problem. I will push myself up and continue moving. And this has really, really helped me in being in the right frame of mind while juggling all these aspects of my life. Yeah, this is the end of this video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Do let me know in the comment section, if you are a mom and you're also doing your PhD, how have you been able to juggle life and just balance out your life? I don't even want to limit it to only PhDs. If you're a working mom, if you're a mom and you have a full-time job and you also own a business, like, how do you manage all these things? Let me know in the comment section. Okay, share these tips with me. Don't forget to give me a thumbs up if you enjoyed this video, and please consider subscribing to my channel. It will mean so much to me. Thank you guys once again for watching, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye.